Okay, so here's a question that sounds simple but gets complicated fast. Where does the blockchain store its data? I don't mean the transactions on chain. I actually mean the actual files, the images behind NFTs, the metadata for the ENS domains, the audit logs for the DeFi protocol, or the training data sets for AI. Every chain needs this. Ethereum needs it, Avalanche needs it, Monad needs it, Polygon, all of them needs it. And right now, most of them solve it in the same way. They don't. They link out the centralized storage, or they bolt on like some ad hoc solutions, or they just hope that someone else figures it out, which creates a big mess. Now, think about what happens when you are building across multiple chains. You deploy a contract on Avalanche, another on Polygon. Maybe you are storing users' data or compliance record or chain history for the validator syncing on some another chain. Each chain has its own storage approach, different APIs, different guarantees, different ways of proving that the data actually exists. Now, you have got the same file living in three different places with three different identifiers. This is the fragmentation problem. Every chain reinventing the wheel, every application maintaining multiple storage integrations, and the developer forever wondering, if I upload this file from Avalanche, can my contract on Filecoin even see it? The answer, until recently, was not easy. So, what's the alternative? One verifiable storage layer that works the same way no matter where you are calling from. That's what cross-chain storage actually means. And in Filecoin on-chain cloud context, it's not about like moving data between chain, it's about having a single place where the data lives with cryptographic proofs that it exists, accessible from any chain that needs it. Here's what makes this work. Content addressing. When you store something on Filecoin, it gets a PCID. A hash is computed directly from the file contents. That identifier is universal. It doesn't care which chain you are on. Upload from Avalanche, retrieve from Ethereum, verify it from anywhere. The CID is the CID. This is different from location based addressing, where you are pointing to a server and hoping that the server is still there, hoping that it hasn't changed what it's serving. Content addressing changes that. The identifier is nothing but the verification. If you have the CID, you can retrieve data that hashes to the CID. You got exactly what was stored, and math guarantees it. But content addressing alone isn't enough. You also need to prove that the data is still there. This is where proof of data possession comes in. Storage providers on Filecoin don't just claim they have your data, they prove it, and they prove it continuously. The PDP system issues cryptographic challenges, providers respond with the proofs, and those proofs get recorded on chain. Why does this now matter for like cross chain applications? Because now you can write a contract on any EVM chain that checks whether the specific data is being stored and proven on Filecoin. The proofs of are verifiable, the state is queryable. You don't have to trust a provider's promise. You can verify their receipts. The data lives in one place, but the guarantees extend like everywhere. Let me make this like little bit more concrete with how does the cross chain bridge actually works. Say that you are on Avalanche and you want to store something on Filecoin without touching the Filecoin network directly. You submit a storage offer to the on-ramp contract on Avalanche. This is just a regular like EVM transaction from your perspective, and but what happens in background is much interesting. You include the data content identifier, where to fetch it, and optionally, like you can add some payment through that. Behind the scenes, an off chain agent would pick up your offer, package the data, and submit it to Filecoin storage providers. Once now, this deal is sealed on Filecoin, meaning that the data is stored and been actually proven, a proof gets sent back to the cross chain messaging layer like XLR. Now, now that the proof lands in like an Oracle contract on Avalanche, the Oracle can verify it, confirm on chain that the on ramp that stored the data is succeeded, and it immediately can release the escrow payment. From your application's perspective now, just think, you have made one call. Data is now stored on Filecoin with ongoing proofs, and you never had to touch the fill token or interact with Filecoin directly. Amazing, right? And here's what all of this like enables, and that wasn't really possible before. Share data across ecosystems, store one's access everywhere. And an ENS domain's metadata can be stored on Filecoin, and it can be accessible to a contract on Polygon as it is to any other EVM chain. Same CID, same verification, and absolutely no duplication. Unified access patterns are available there, and once your data is on like Filecoin, whether it arrived by cross-chain data breach or was it uploaded directly on Filecoin, the Synapse SDK would give you the same interface for retrieval and verification. So the user experience, the developer experience pretty much remains the same. Upload and download and verify. These are the three calls that look the same whether you are on like mainnet or calibration testnet, that is the testnet for Filecoin. The chain agnostic storage guarantees remains the same on either of the approach. The proofs don't care like which chain the storage request was originated from. A piece of data being proven on Filecoin would still carry the same cryptographic weight whether it was uploaded from like Avalanche base or directly from the Filecoin network. So for builders who are tired of maintaining, five different storage integrations or wondering whether their data will still exist next year or not, and trying to make the cross-chain applications that actually share the state, this is the perfect infrastructure that makes all of this possible. Filecoin Onchain Cloud is making a straightforward bet that when storage can be accessed from any chain with the same guarantees, network effects take over, and you will still have the same guarantee. Data that's useful to many chains is more valuable than the data that is locked on just a single chain. So if you want to try this out, the calibration testnet is live. Grab some testnet tokens from the faucet and go show something. It's now time to build.